Hey everyone, welcome to my 13th video on AvP mapping. In this video I'm going to go over how to create a real water effect in your level. Now there isn't a real easy way to do this. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you what the water effect is going to look like. This is not simply creating a polygon and giving an animated texture. We're going to do the real water effect that the game has in certain maps, like in Derelict and Waterfall. Right here I'm going to show you this in the map Colony. So as you can see, this is the water effect that you see in a few stock maps. I've just edited the spawn point here, so I spawn right over here, and we're going to add this effect to our map. And this is getting into unknown territory. There isn't anything really written about this. Now that map is, its file name is GENSHD1, which means gen shed or generator shed. And first we're going to take a look at our example map, and actually, you know what? Let me show you. What you would do first is we would look for that module. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to find that module, and we are going to rename the module we want water to what it is named. And as you can see over here, this is the name of the module. If we change this, it becomes something different, like Corridor 20. This one is just 05. Very simple name. This one would be Corridor 14, etc., right? So this is the colony map. Now we're going to go over to our map, and we just have to name the module that we want to have water in it. We need to name it 05. Now I've done a little bit more off screen. I have a bit of a better idea of what I want the map to look like, so I've actually sealed off this wall over here. I've just given a window so that the player is going to be forced to go take the lift, go up this to this corridor, down the staircase, and what I want is, after the staircase, I want for all this to be submerged in water. Only this area. Okay, we don't have any module that's named 05, so we're going to have to rename the modules. And as you can imagine, I really prefer doing things in Intang, if possible. I don't like converting back to 3ds Max or having to revert to 3ds Max. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting off one polygon here. I'm going to name it 05. Enter. Delete polygons? No. I always press no for that. So now we have this split off from the previous module, which was module 19. As you can see, we have it properly named. And we're going to remerge it, so it's just going to be the exact same module, but it depends on the order when you're merging of the modules. So the first one you have selected, if it's 05 and then module 19, then when you merge it, it's going to have the name 05. If we did it the opposite way like this, it would just be back to this and we would have accomplished nothing. We're going to do this, right? So I pressed shift. I did that. These are both modules, so we're just going to merge. And now this is 05. So now if we started the map, we would just see that this itself is going to have water and these won't. But I want this whole thing to have water. So we're going to just do shift click. And now you can just shift-click all of these, move this around, and this will be the last one. So I shift-clicked all those, and you can see these are all the modules. And you can merge these. You don't have to merge them one at a time. Now check this out. This is all module 05, so we're going to have water in this area. Pretty cool, right? There is going to be a problem with this, but I'm just doing this to demonstrate. And now you have to name it the name of the map that has the water. Now the reason why we can't do this with Derelict does have a section that has water. However, I've never been able to get it to work even if I renamed it. It's water 01, but for some reason it doesn't work. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do module linking. Completely forgot about that. Okay, so we're going to go back over here. The reason why I knew that we forgot module linking is because I could see part of the sky through that. So let me just take a second and link these up. Okay, and then this thing is going to need to be linked to all of these. Alright, that looks good. Save intensities. Now let's start again. Okay, so check this out. We have a problem, right? We only wanted it for that one area. So we have the water effect. That's good. But it's getting, well, it's getting cut off over here. Let's see how this is going to look when we go over here. All right, so this is looking good. Right, this is all underwater. And then, well, the water's over here, and we don't want that. So, let me explain why that's happening. So I'm opening up the example map, and this is our map. Over here, this is entirely 0.5. So why is it bleeding into this? Well, if you remember from a few tutorials back, I was talking about modules. This is one of the first tutorials. And I was explaining that a module is just a box, right? So the game is going to draw a box around the entire extent of this. So that means that the module isn't just this area and this stuff, it's actually all of this. And one useful tool just to check the boundaries of a module, we use this a lot for help in checking. Just type in something like module check. We can delete this. It can be just test or really just anything like that. We go over here to area switch, and the reason why we do area switch, this is not going to have any target or anything, so it's not going to have any function. Press V for the volume. Then you go over here. This is exactly like how we did depth volumes when we set the volume extent. So I selected this module, which is all one module now. I pressed S. Okay, so now you can see the reason for why the water was bleeding over here is because everything that was called module 5 was given the water effect. That bled over into this room. So when you stand over here, you would see, oh shit, the water is just getting cut off over here. It's going all like this. That's no good, right? Okay, so, and then you can just press return when finished. And then if you want, you can, if you don't like this just being here, you can just delete the virtual object. Okay, so I want the water to be there. So what I've actually done already is I have adjusted the geometry. Ever so slightly. Now you can notice I have moved the staircase over, and I have brought in more length to this hallway. Basically, as you can see, there's some leftovers over here. This wall, for example, this was the original staircase, right? This was the original position, and I moved this over. And we could delete this other stuff too. I shifted this part of the ceiling over too. And now, if we go and head back over to strategy mode, now we can do the same thing. So create a virtual object, call it module check, assign strategy, area switch, V for trigger volume, select this, and now let's see. Press S to see the bounds, and now take a look at this. The game has now drawn the module, well, the game now takes into account the boundary of this module as only this rectangle over here. So you're not going to see any of that water bleeding in to this side. So it's very important to know the boundaries of your module. So now let's check this out in game. So you can see that the water is contained over there. There's a tiny bit of bleed over here, and if you stand right over here, you can actually hear it. So there's not much I can do about that. It's just because the geometry kind of goes inward a little bit. But even if it didn't, it would kind of bleed slightly into this wall and through this wall over here. Just because the water effect isn't great. But this is how you do it. So now we've got the water contained on this side. Now again, as I mentioned, there isn't really a clean and easy way to do water. There's no flag that we know of that adds water. This is actually hard-coded into the game as far as we know, that a module of a particular name, like water01 for derelict, or 05 for colony, other things like that, those are in the game's code, and as far as we know, this is the only way you can get water into your map. What we can do, since you can see there's kind of this effect over here, if we had something this height that would block this off, obviously you wouldn't see it, but maybe we can try and make do with this with some lighting, which may conceal that a little bit. So anyway, this is how you would add water to your map. If you can figure out a better way to add water, or a different way, or if you're successful with getting water added to your map via a different map, like derelict or waterfall for the marine, or waterfall for the predator, or alien, because invasion, the bonus mission, has you starting in water, please let me know. Otherwise, this is the only way I've been able to manage adding the water effect to a custom map. And I should finish by letting you know that this only works in single player. This does not work in multiplayer. The multiplayer never renders water in the maps. So that's it for this tutorial. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.